Hello, everyone, and welcome. So, you've been eyeing the beautiful world of Farshore and you're looking for a guide for your very first voyage? Well, you have come to the perfect place. In this explainer, we are going to get you set up and ready to play in just a few minutes. You know, the game pulls you right in from the start with this line from the rulebook: "The forever sea is calling." It just perfectly captures that sense of adventure and charm that's waiting for you on the coast just north of Everdell Valley. So, what's the big idea? What's your goal? It's simple, really. You're going to lead a crew of adorable critter workers to build the most prosperous, most amazing seaside city, all while you're exploring that huge, enchanting ocean right off the coast. To get you there, we're going to break this down into 4 easy parts. First up, a quick welcome to the world. Then, we'll get into what you actually do on your turn. After that, we'll take a close look at the cards, which are really the heart and soul of your city. And finally, we'll talk about sailing the high seas and how to tally up all those victory points. All right, let's get our sea legs. Part 1. Welcome to Farshore. Let's get a feel for the basic rhythm of the game. At its core, Farshore has this wonderfully simple gameplay loop. You'll be gathering resources, things like driftwood and seaweed, and then you'll use those to play cards that become the critters and buildings in your town. You literally get to watch your own personal seaside city grow and flourish as you play through the game's 4 seasons. Okay, so now let's see how that all works on your turn. This is section 2, your turn, your choices. This is the heart of the gameplay. And the best part is, it's incredibly straightforward. On your turn, you do just one thing. That's it. You pick one of these 3 actions. You can either place one of your critter workers, play a card right from your hand, or prepare for the next season. Every single turn is just one of those 3 simple choices. So let's talk about the action you'll probably be taking the most: placing a worker. This is you sending your little crabs, puffins, and beavers out onto the board to get stuff done. And where can they go? Oh, you've got tons of options. You can send them to the shoreline for basic resources, or out to the islands for better rewards, but those spots are limited. You can also use the docks and lookout to manage your hand of cards, head to the dunes to claim valuable maps, or even visit special destination cards right there in your own city. Now, what happens when you've placed all your workers? That's when you take the prepare for season action. Think of it as your big reset button. You pull all your workers back, you get a brand new worker to add to your crew for the next season, and you get a little seasonal bonus. It's how the game keeps moving forward from spring to summer and then on to autumn. Okay, let's move on to section 3, the art of the card. If placing workers is how you gather things, well, playing cards is how you build your engine and score those all-important points. First things first, let's look at a card. Everything you need is right here. The cost to play it, top left. You've got the name and the card's color, which is also its type. The text in the middle tells you its special ability. And that number in the corner, that's what it's worth in points at the end of the game. Nice and clean. Now, the cards you'll be playing mostly fall into 2 camps: critters and constructions. Constructions are just what they sound like, the buildings in your city. Critters are the unique characters who live there. But the real magic happens when you see how these 2 types work together. Because, who doesn't want to play cards for free, right? Farshore has this absolutely fantastic mechanic that lets you do exactly that. And here's how it works. It's so clever. If you have a construction in your city, you can place one of your anchor tokens on it. This lets you play a critter of the same color from your hand for absolutely 0 cost. It's an amazing move. But, and this is a big but, you only get 3 of these anchor tokens for the entire game, so you have to be really smart about when you use them. So, there are 5 colors or types of cards to keep an eye on. Green cards help you with production, getting more resources. Blue cards give you bonuses for certain actions. Tan cards are powerful one-time effects. Red cards actually become new places for your workers to visit. And purple cards, those give you big bonus points at the end of the game. All right, let's bring it all home with our final section, sailing and final scoring. This is where you really start charting your course to victory. See those 2 windrose tiles on the board? Okay, so whenever you play a card, you check its color. If it matches one of those tiles, you get to move your ship along the track. And hey, if it matches both, you get to move 2 spaces. Sailing is a huge part of your strategy. And why is sailing so great? Well, because it earns you treasure. Each treasure token is basically a wild resource. You can spend it as anything you want, anytime. Or, if you can resist the temptation to spend it, each unspent treasure is worth 2 points at the end of the game. It's a really interesting strategic choice you have to make.
Another thing you absolutely cannot forget is maps. To get them, you first have to meet certain requirements. Usually, it means having specific card colors built in your city. Once you do, you can send a worker over to the dunes and claim your reward, a super valuable map tile.
So why should you care so much about maps? Because of this number, 72. That is the theoretical maximum number of points a single player could get just from maps alone. The way they work is they multiply against each other, so the more maps you collect, the more each individual one is worth. Seriously, do not ignore them. Okay, so when the game finally ends, you'll tally up your score from all these different places. You'll get points from your cards, plus any of those purple card bonuses. You'll add in any point tokens you collected, your unspent treasures at 2 points each, that huge map calculation, and finally the points you get from your ship's final spot on the track. The game wraps up after that final autumn season is over and every player has passed. You count up all your points, and the critter with the highest score wins the game and becomes the most celebrated founder in all of Farshore. And there you have it. Those are all the core concepts you need to get you started on your very first game of Farshore. The wind is high and the sun is just breaking the horizon. The only question left is, are you ready to set sail for adventure?